Today's topic is viewer submitted, my first ever suggested video. Today we're going to talk about how to title your novel. This topic was suggested to me by a Twitter follower who just randomly asked me if I had a video on this subject, which made me feel super popular and excited. Please suggest video ideas to me whenever you want. I am always looking for new ideas and I love to plan ahead. Titles are an important part of the writing process, possibly much more important than you think they are. Titles can help you stand out in a crowd, but they can also do the opposite if you don't pick well enough. A good title needs to be memorable, easily understood, and original. First off, a title should be thematically relevant. This means that if your book is about a group of evil penguins, it probably shouldn't be titled something like A Quiet Day in the Park. It should also be thoughtful to genre, so avoid picking a typically contemporary title for a heavily genre book. You should consider the seductiveness of your romance title, the creepy in your horror title, and so on. There are lots of factors that influence whether or not a reader will pick up your book. Covers are a really obvious one, but titles are important too. A boring title won't stand out amongst a sea of competitive titles. However, it's important not to pick a misleading title. Like the Evil Penguins book, if someone was genuinely seeking a story about a quiet day in the park, they'd be really surprised and probably disappointed by the actual story. That's not to say you can't have an ironic title, or even a title that is opposite to the topic. You just have to make sure that it ties to your story in an important way. Consider the layers of your title. Does it mean something else in the context of your story? If, perhaps, the Penguins book was about somebody trying to just have a quiet day in the park only to have it consistently ruined by evil penguins, then the title makes sense. However, if not, it's just confusing, and no one likes to be confused. But you don't want to be too obvious. Don't give away your plot with your title. A Quiet Day at the Park ruined by evil penguins is a little too on the nose. It's also smart to be wary of lyric or poem-based titles for copyright reasons. This isn't to say that you can't have them, but they might not end up being your final title if a copyright issue comes up. Another reason to think twice about lyric titles is for popularity and originality. You want to be the top search result when someone Googles your title. You want to stand out. This is also a possible reason to avoid one-word titles. You probably won't rank in search for terms like heartbreak, betrayal, and so on. It's totally fine to leave your book untitled throughout your first draft or even through revisions. I say it's only important to finalize on a title when you start querying, because querying an untitled book sort of gives a bad first impression on your levels of creativity and imagination. Sometimes waiting can do the work for you. You may find the perfect title just waiting to be lifted from a scene or conversation in your novel. That's how The Silence of the Lambs got its name, from a conversation about a childhood memory that had an ironic relevance to the story at hand. You can totally rely on a code name before making your final decision. All my books have code names, and I tend to still refer to them by that, even after settling on a more official title. This is also a good trick if you need to refer to your book publicly without giving away spoilers. Your code name could be a joke title or a song that really fits your book. Little Boxes is a code name for one of my novels, and #Secret Resistance book is another. A point I'd say is really important to understand is that unless you are self-publishing, it's probably best not to get irreparably attached to any one title, because your agent or publisher might have different ideas and they have more industry experience. If you're really struggling to come up with a title, ask your friends and family. Carrie Ryan's husband named all the books in her Forest of Hands and Teeth series. Most importantly, don't let stress over a title keep you from writing a great book. It's really what's on the inside that matters most. So just write and worry about titles afterwards. What are some of your favorite titles? And what's your best tip for titling your own books? Let me know. Once again, thank you so much for suggesting this topic. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys really soon.